This is passage 2. It's a research passage. We know it's a research passage because it says study 1 and study 2, so we're comparing the two studies. In our DRC approach, research stands for read, R and R, right? So you're going to read, but not carefully. Just look at the process and the differences between the studies. Our R and R approach means we're going to read and then reread the question, breaking it down as we go. In the second step, the first read is just to give an idea of what is being asked. Question number 8, we're using study 2. How did the average particle diameter of the river sand compare to those of other sands? So we're comparing river sand to other sands. So river sand diameter is smaller than all of the others. So that would be choice F. It's smaller than the average particle of all the other sands. Number 9 doesn't tell us which study to look at, but if we look at our answer choices, we know we're going to look at table 2. That has all the sands listed. So if a minimum of 10% of the particles in the sand are amber colored, the entire sand will appear reddish brown, which would not appear reddish brown. So we look at coloration and we see amber, right? So which one is not going to be reddish brown? So which amber is less than 10%? And it's going to be river sand. So your answer has to be B. Number 10. This is a reasoning question. Which one best explains why the sum of the particle composition percents, that's in table 1, did not equal 100%. So it tells you these are the composition of these 4 types of particles. That means there's some other particle that's not listed, right? They were made up of materials other than the 4 that are listed. So choice H. Number 11, in study 2, based on the average particle diameter for North Beach sand, a North Beach sand sample most likely contained what? So remember the average means there's some bigger and some smaller. They could all be the same size, but most likely some are bigger and some are smaller. So choice D, some were larger than 0.3 and some were smaller than 0.3. Number 12, using study 1, in the description of the methods used to prepare the sand for viewing, so they're cutting them, right? Under magnification, it indicates that intact particles are most likely to what? So they're putting them under a microscope and they're putting transmitted polarized light through them. So that means that most likely a full-size piece of sand could not allow light to pass through it. It was too thick. So choice H. Number 13, based on the results of studies 1 and 2, sand is most likely brought to the mining site from. So we're going to look at the sand in table 1 and say, well, which one does it most likely match? I'm just going to go through and see where the matches are. I'm just circling them or squaring them. And you see that we have more matches in underwater offshore dune sand than anywhere else. So that means our answer has to be B. Number 14 is an if question, so we have to reason a bit. If sand is being supplied to the mining site from the inland dunes, one or both of which of the 2 erosion processes are most likely capable of moving the sand directly from the inland dunes to the mining site. So we know it's not ocean waves. The ocean waves are not in the inland, right? They're in the water. And there's also no glaciers. So the answer has to be H. So here are our recording categories. So you can see if you missed several questions on the same category, you might want to figure out how to approach that category a bit better. Reach out if you have any questions that you don't understand, and we'll end with our silly joke. What do you call a gust of wind that's full of sand? A rough draft. All right, have a good day.